Scout 3400 internal frame backpack. When the wild calls and your desire to explore kicks in, you know you'll be relying on your wit and what's on your back. The Scout 3400 is our top-selling backpack. It comes in a variety of colors and will hold 3,400 cubic inches or 55 liters of gear. It's a great pack for light backpacking trips that last 2 to 4 days. Its shell is made from 600D diamond ripstop and 600D Oxford canvas that will hold up to years of rugged use. It has a fully adjustable fit in the torso and waist belt. The shoulder straps have upper load adjustment for balance once you're all packed. The thick padded shoulder straps, foam lumbar pad, and molded back panels will help you carry the load longer and more comfortably. You'll get the most out of the space provided because the Scout 3400 backpack has a large sleeping bag compartment, multi-directional compression straps, and multiple compartments and pockets arranged for strategic packing. If you find yourself out in the rain, you can keep your gear dry with the included rainfly. The Scout 3400 internal frame backpack, along with all Teton products, comes with our limited lifetime warranty, which is our promise that you can count on us. If you ever have any issues, reach out to our awesome customer service team and they'll get you back outdoors and on the trail. And that's an introduction to the Scout 3400 internal frame backpack. Get outdoors and enjoy life.
This is our Hike and Bike Antero 800 fill power Goose Down and Creststone 650 fill power Duck Down hammock compatible down sleeping bag series. We currently offer these bags in our 15 degree and 0 degree Fahrenheit models in multiple colors. Our hammock compatible sleeping bags are innovatively designed to combine the insulating capabilities of a hammock underquilt with the comfort and functionality of a down sleeping bag. They have a streamlined design with horizontal baffles for the Creststone series and vertical baffles for the Antero series to facilitate even temperature distribution from side to side and head to toe. These 3 and 4 season bags are constructed with durable, lightweight materials that will keep you comfortable whether you are camping under a lightweight tarp in a hammock or sleeping in a tent in the backcountry. The 20-day near nylon shell fabric is water resistant and has a silky texture that is extremely comfortable on your skin. For the design of these bags, we made them 4 inches wider than our standard size bags to allow for ample room when using a hammock and to provide more space for side-to-side sleepers when in a tent. We also added an internal pocket along with an innovative sleeve, flap, and drawcord to both the hood and the footbox to allow for a hammock to pass through the bag. This allows the bottom of the bag to retain its full loft to provide maximum heat retention when being used with a hammock. The drawcord and flap system also allow for the sleeves to be cinched up tight to be used as a regular sleeping bag inside a tent. This unique design allows your head and feet to be fully encased, making it the best option for staying warm in a hammock. Additionally, we optimized the amount of down inside each chamber to maximize the loft and minimize the size and weight. To accomplish this, we utilized a differential cut, which means the liner is actually a smaller bag encased in the larger outer shell. We also added a small channel along the left side of the bag to allow for you to transfer fill from one baffle to another. This means you can customize your bag to place the down insulation where you need it most for ideal comfort, while optimizing size and weight. We use 650 fill power Duck Down in our Creststone line and 800 fill power Goose Down in our Antero line, both of which have incredible compressibility and exceptional warmth. All of our down is purchased from responsibly sourced suppliers, which ensure the birds are never live plucked or force-fed. For these sleeping bags, we used a fully baffled construction with no sewn-through areas to eliminate cold spots. The full-length center zipper is equipped with YKK anti-snag zippers for frustration-free entry and exit. For additional temperature regulation, the hood area has multiple drawcords that can be adjusted to provide optimal thermal management. To retain the most body heat, there is a shoulder baffle that can be cinched around your neck to keep out cold drafts. The hood is specifically designed so it can accommodate a small camping pillow when the drawcord is uncinched, or when the drawcord is fully cinched, it seals around the face to create a comfortable, secure cocoon that keeps your ears, head, and neck warm in the coldest weather. The footbox has ample room for your feet and overlapping baffles to guarantee comfort and warmth for your toes. These sleeping bags come in multiple lengths, allowing these bags to fit all shapes and sizes. These classic mummy-style bags made with high-quality down fill are extremely light, pack small, and are durably built to keep you warm in and out of your hammock season after season.
Hikers and ultralight backpackers love using tarps instead of tents because they're super versatile and they weigh almost nothing. Let's talk about a few different ways to use tarp shelters. Backpacking tarp shelters are nothing like tarps that you would buy at the hardware store. Shelters like this will generally be made out of a lightweight waterproof nylon, and then they have reinforced loops along the edges generally, because that's where you'll want to attach stakes or guy lines, and you want those points to be strong. They'll also sometimes have loops along the top for a ridge line, which is one instance or one way that you can set up the tarp shelter. We're going to talk about 4 different ways to set up tarp shelters today, starting with the A-frame. This is a really easy and versatile way to set up a tarp. You can set it up just like this with the corners attached to the ground, and it gives you enough space for 2 people underneath. This is also good for rain protection. If you need even more protection from the elements, you can also pull the corners in and raise your trekking poles. If you don't need a lot of protection, you want more space, you can raise the whole thing up and then guy out the sides to get even more room underneath. It's just a really versatile way of setting up a tarp. If you're going to use the A-frame like this, you'll need to have trekking poles. And what you'll do is you'll stake the corners on one side, and then you'll put your trekking poles in and lightly tension them before staking the other side of the tarp, and then tighten down the trekking poles and stake the sides as needed. If you don't like to carry trekking poles with you, and if you're camping in an area where you have trees, you can also set up the A-frame using a ridge line. That'll be a cord that runs through these top loops if your tarp has them, or if your tarp doesn't have the loops, you can just run a cord underneath along the length of the tarp and attach it to 2 trees. If you set the A-frame up this way, you'll need to create tension so that the tarp doesn't collapse. We'll show you a way to do that a little bit later. This is the closed end A-frame. This setup gives you a little bit more protection from wind and rain. You can set it up with the back end, which is closed, into the wind, and it'll just shed the wind and the weather that's coming in. You set this shelter up by staking down the back middle, and then you can adjust the trekking pole in the front, tension that, and stake down the front 2 corners. Then you'll stake out the back 2 corners and the back side as needed for protection. I've set my shelter up like this, but you can adjust the height of the trekking pole lower and then spread the sides out farther if you need more protection from the elements, or you can adjust this higher if you want more room. This is the wind shed shelter. While it's not great for rain, as the name implies, it is really good at protecting you from the wind. This is a good option if you're not concerned about rain or water, or if you're backpacking somewhere where it's really warm, as it gives you a lot of space underneath. It's also really great as just like a shelter to hang out in. So you can stake down the back sides and then set this up in such a way if you want like a view of the lake or wherever it is that you're hanging out. I have this front corner guide out to the ground and staked there, but you could guide this up to a tree and then you'll have a really big expansive view. You'll set this shelter up by staking down one long side of the tarp, and then you'll add and tension your trekking poles before staking down the other side and then guying out this corner. This setup is called the Sea Fly, and it's essentially a variation on a lean-to. This offers really good wind protection on one side, so if you know what direction your wind is coming from, you can set it up facing that way, and then it gives you a lot of visibility on the other side. You also get a ground tarp to protect your gear, and this sheds rain really well. So if you're sleeping on ground that's already damp, you have an additional protection there. You'll set this up by staking down this ground fly section, or ground tarp section, and then you'll add your trekking poles, and then you'll tension and guy out the corners before tensioning out the trekking poles. One thing to note is that this does require a minimum of 8 stakes. You can also set this up with a ridge line if you don't have trekking poles with you, but you'll need to use that tensioning trick, which we're going to show you now. So I've set my tarp shelter up here using a ridge line, and what I've done is I've tied a bowline to one tree here, and then I have a trucker's hitch on the other side to tighten the line. And if you were to just drape your tarp over this or run it through the loops, the tarp can move around a lot. So instead what we're using are some friction hitches to help keep it in place. So I've got a prusik tied on one end of the tarp and then another one here. The cool thing about friction hitches is that when you slide them around, they move easily when they're not under tension, but then as soon as you tension them, they lock into place. I've used a prusik here, but any type of friction hitch will work.
Made for fast and light summer adventures where a tiny pack size is the holy grail, our award-winning Ultralight air mat capitalizes on our air-sprung cell comfort. Our air-sprung cells are the reason you'll sleep more comfortably on our air mats. Much like a pocket spring mattress, the matrix of interconnected air chambers conform to your body's contours without affecting adjacent cells, eliminating the wobble associated with baffle air mats. Quiet 30-40D nylon face fabric with extrusion laminated TPU hits the perfect balance between weight and durability. An antimicrobial treatment is added to the internal TPU lamination to inhibit mold and fungal growth inside the mat. Our multi-function valve integrates a one-way inflate port, a fine-tuned button to adjust pressure, and a rapid air dump deflate port all in one tiny, low-profile unit. Constructed with a single layer of medium resolution cells for minimal pack size and weight, while still providing superior comfort and support. Designed to keep your pillow exactly where it's meant to be, on your sleeping mat, our unique pillow lock patches are included with all our mats for a slip-free sleep. Integrated into the base of the included stuff sack, our Airstream pump sack harnesses the Bernoulli effect to inflate your mat fast with 80% less breaths, saving considerable effort at bedtime and introducing minimal breath condensation. Loved by adventure racers, lightweight backpackers, and bikepackers, our Ultralight air mats pack small, yet provide the ultimate lightweight comfort. Available in 4 sizes, you'll hardly notice it in your frame bag or pack side pocket.
Let's talk about how to set up your Maxfield tent. Stake and tension the 4 primary corners. Stake the remaining 4 webbing loops, tension as needed. Assemble the pole system. Insert orange and gray pole tips to the corresponding orange and gray webbing hardware. Attach snap hooks located on the seams of the tent body to the tent poles. Insert the aluminum hardware located at each end of the tent ceiling to the center tent pole. Lay the tent rainfly over the top of the tent, matching the color-coded webbing to the pole tips. Locate webbing sleeve under the front and the back of the center seam on the rainfly. Slip the center tent pole tips inside of the webbing sleeves. Secure Velcro loops located around the inside of the rainfly around the tent pole. Insert the pole tips inside the aluminum hardware found on the sides of the tent rainfly. Place 1 stake through each primary rainfly cordage loop. 2 total points indicated by adjustable cordage. Once all stakes have been set, tension the tent evenly by using the tension lock system. Add tension by pulling on the end of the cordage/webbing. Release tension by pulling up on the tab located on the hardware. Note, some stake locations will share tether points with the tent body stakes. In extreme weather conditions, the tent can be stabilized with additional guy lines and stakes.